Okay, so now we have our survey on our drawing. I know it looks a little wonky here. We have some edges hanging off, but not to worry about that because we can, the goal right now is to trace the information that we need off of this survey. And then we're going to remove the image of the survey and we can adjust it so that it fits on our drawing the way we want. So I'm going to hit my trash button and select this angle, left click, right click, delete. And you see how these black lines are here? That is just like when you move your drawing, it goes away. Like it just is almost like a shadow of what you just deleted just for a second. So don't let that trip you up. Okay, so there's two ways to do this. One, we can simply trace with these dimensions that we have here. Or if you have done your site analysis and you have more specific information on this house, such as where all the doors and windows are, you can use this survey as a starting point to know that I'm going to start on this corner and trace around like this. So this is where we're going to use our building line on Draw Create, which is this second button up here. It opens up this toolbar. So you can left click and grab this blue thing here and move it on around the drawing, however you would like to organize your page. So click on this pink one. It says draw a building line. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to left click and this box shows up. And for this yard, we're just going to be doing the front yard. And so I have the measurements from this corner of the house, this is the garage, to this corner. And so I have those dimensions on a sheet of graph paper from the site analysis. And that's the information I'm going to type in here. You see it says wall, window, door. So those are the things I've measured for the front of this house. And these two buttons here, it's just the whether you're going to start clockwise or counterclockwise. If you this one is defaulted to counterclockwise, CCW, and that just means I'm going to be drawing this way. If you click this, that just means you're going to be going the opposite way. So what I'm going to do here is use my information. The first little section here is a wall, and it is 90 inches. So I'm going to click 90 inches and then just hit enter. I do want constraints on, so check to make sure it's on ortho. And then I'm going to scroll in. I'm starting on this corner. Left click, left click. So this is a lot of left clicking, and don't right click during drawing a building or drawing your house until you are done, because it closes out your building. So I'm just going to simply move my cursor back into here. And now I'm going to draw the garage. So I'm going to click door. And that length was 18 feet. Hit enter, left click. There's my door. The next dimension is 26 inches. And I'm just going to simply go around the edge of the house with the dimensions that I measured on site. For this, there's a window next. The window is 40 inches. So if you notice, instead of typing in 3 foot 4 inches, I know that when I type it into the software, it saves me even just a couple steps by just typing in inches instead of 3 foot 4 inches. And it also saves me time on my piece of graph paper when doing the site analysis. That's just a little shortcut for when you're measuring. I use on my tape measure, I simply write down the inches where applicable. If it's a like just 3 feet, clearly that's going to be easier. But if it's like, instead of writing down 3 foot 4 inches, it's easier for me to just write down and type in 40 inches when I'm doing the measurements. Just saves me a little bit of time. And if you notice, I clicked window and then you hit enter and it defaults back to wall. So I'm just going to keep going around like this. Window, 40 inches again. And see, it snaps back to wall. So when you're typing in a door or window, you have to go in and select it manually. And I actually have told DynaScape that there needs to be a shortcut for that. So hopefully they will come out with that one day where you can have a keystroke to switch it from door to window. That would definitely save time too. So what I'm doing here is, so I'm going to put a window here. So click window, move my cursor over, type in 40 inches, hit enter. Then I go here, make sure it's going the right direction. And then I left click here and just move my cursor back to this space and type in the next dimension. And now I have a window again, have to click that box here. Then I have my door, so it's 64 inches. Oh, okay, I messed up. So I left click too soon and it went that way. So all I'm going to do is hit delete. So instead of right clicking and getting out and having to delete it all, I just hit delete on my keyboard and it deletes that last stroke. And now my information is still here. And I can left click and put it where I needed it to go. So if you mess up, don't stress too much about it. You can hit delete on your keyboard and it will delete the last things that you put in there. So I have another window coming in here. We're almost done with the front of this house. So again, left click one more window. And the last little section that I measured for this front yard is right here. So now what I'm going to do just to finish off the house so it's on here is I'm just going to type in these dimensions that I see on my survey and we'll adjust it to make sure it fits. All right, so now I don't know what this is here. So I'm just going to hit this arrow and it clears the length and now I can draw it whatever length I want to. It looks like we're going to have to move it around a little bit. I might have started too far there. But this isn't that important. We're just going to kind of eyeball it so that we can close out this drawing here. So that dimension was 17.8. $14.4. So I'm just left clicking. 24.2. It's going to bring us back. Now I'm going to right click to close out this drawing. So clearly these aren't matching up, so we're going to have to adjust that a little bit. But since we're just focusing on the front yard here, that's not going to be that big of a deal. So that is how you draw a building. Click on the building line, choose what direction you want to draw, and then click through walls and windows, left click, left click, left click, make sure you're in ortho. And when you're done with the house, that's when you click right click to stop drawing that building line. So next, we're just going to quickly do this property line. So we're going to go up here. We're going to change the layer. Now we're just working with polylines, but we are going to choose what layer that we're drawing these polylines in. The building line defaults to building, as you can see. It's that really thick, very specific line on our drawing that has all these different layers. But when we're just drawing with polylines, this third box here, we're going to choose what layer we're drawing in. So we click on the DynaScape button, this top left tab, and these are all the different layers that you can draw in. So I'm going to pick property because we're going to trace the property line. And we're going to just type in these dimensions. I don't want constraints on this time because these are all different angles. None of this is square to the page. So I'm going to click polyline. Same thing where I have a dimension that I'm typing that dimension into the text box because that's exactly how long I want that line to be. So I go roughly where it starts, then left click, move my cursor back into this spot. Again, I'm using my shift and scroll bar to move around my drawing, and my polyline's still down there because I have not right clicked, so I can still move through my drawing. I'm going to type in 140.05, and there's my next line. Scroll in, left click, scroll out to see what my next number is. I got 134.28, 134.28, enter. I scroll in, match that up there, left click, scroll out, 170.17. Left click, and my last dimension is 120.03, enter. Now we're just look, and now they match back up. So I'm going to left click and now right click to tell the computer I'm done drawing that line. So we drew a polyline. We told it what dimension we wanted, the length of each line, and now we have our property line and our house on our drawing.